Well, hello YouTube. We're back in the shop. Got everything primed and back in order. It took me a little bit to get everything put back in order, and I will have to tell you, you need to get tags, or you need to have some way of keeping these parts identified. And these tags were perfect. They worked great for what I was going to have to do. So, what I am going to do today is we are going to start putting these ribs onto the spar, and there's some steps that we have to do. Here's the order in which I go. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm still waiting on these pieces from Vans, so there's not much I can do here until Vans sends me these pieces. So these are the wings. So, but that doesn't mean I can't get them clecoed in and everything, and get the parts that I do have put together. So as I go down through the ribs to put on the spars to cleco them in, I'm going to do all the sub-assembly. Obviously, the very first one is the part that I'm missing, which is this guy right here. But that doesn't mean that I can't go ahead and rivet these guys in and all of that. And then I'm just going to proceed to go one down the other. Now, one thing you will learn, not quickly, but you will learn, and I'm going to share it with you. These plans are not Lincoln Log kind of plans, step A, step B, step C. They are. You need to kind of follow the order, but they are more of a directional of putting them together. But if you go try to use them sometimes linear, you'll get in trouble. One of the problems you'll find out real quick is when we were determining, a lot of end users or a lot of builders were, what do I countersink what? And it tells you further on down the plan. So not only do you have to follow the plans, but you have to also read ahead several pages or understand conceptually what is going there, and that will determine what you do in your steps. So it's okay not to necessarily go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It ain't gonna kill you, especially since I'm just clecoing them in. I'm not riveting anything just yet. I'm just gonna cleco them back in and everything, but I am gonna start doing the sub-assemblies. So we're gonna start at this outer point here, and then we're gonna work all the way to the wingtip. So we're gonna start right here, and then we're gonna work our way into the wingtip. And like I said, I do know on this piece here, I am missing these guys, this guy right here. So this should be in the mail to me, and I should get it. So, but that will get it going. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna just start doing our sub-assemblies and clecoing. All right, YouTube. So there you go. We got the, they're not bucked in, but we got the ribs installed. And then I had a friend from the EA club come over. He learned how he's building an RV10. He's about a year out, is what they're saying, on his empennage. So he came over and he learned how to flute, and also how to deburr, what it means to deburr. And so we were able to get these knocked out, the right wing's ribs knocked out, and everything. So now what I'm going to do is I've got to prep these for paint and get those ready. I also have to drill the corresponding holes, and we'll get to why that's missing here in a minute. But I also have to get the corresponding holes so we can get the elevator and the flap extensions or brackets on. And now back to this guy. So part of building the airplane is you learn a lot and you make a lot of mistakes, and not necessarily a mistake, but when I was riveting, I'll show you kind of the holes and you guys can see them. When I was riveting this bracket on, let's see if we can get it. Come on, Jeff, there we go. And this goes like that, and then this goes like this. What happened was I noticed after placing 2 or 3 rivets, there's quite a bit of gap. And I'll kind of show you. There was a huge gap between the pieces. And what that was caused by is you can see how that, when I was riveting, it actually dimpled these, and you can see it even more so here. What happened was, or what I deduced happened here, and then I messed this piece out trying to drill it out. Yeah. So what happened here is I didn't have, when putting this piece on, I didn't clamp this down hard enough. And when I say hard enough, I didn't clamp it down. I used the Clecos, but the Clecos that I have don't go, that's a lot of thickness between here, here, and there. And so it didn't pull the parts tight to each other. And so because it didn't pull the parts tight together, when I Clecoed, or when I riveted it, it left that gap or that space. So when you're putting these together, I would actually recommend put as many Clecos as you can to pull it together, or even use a C-clamp and pull it together to keep it tight as you're riveting it together, or you're going to end up with a mess. So I had to order a new piece. Those are coming from Vans and everything, and then we'll get that fixed. But that, I wanted to share that with you. That is what I did. That is my mistake. And hopefully you won't do it again. I didn't have a problem when I did this guy first. This one went together perfectly, beautifully, right? So I got confident. I got overconfident, and I did the next one, and that's when I noticed it. And then on this guy here, I actually used the clamps and clamped it really, really good and everything. So yeah, mistakes, things, bloodshed will be, shed. Blood will be shed. We will all make mistakes, right? And everything. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the parts cut for the right side over here, and then we'll probably scarf it up and get it ready for paint. So yep, I'll be back in a bit. All right, YouTube, there we go. I got them in. I went ahead. I haven't Clecoed the right wings in. I just got the ribs in because yeah, we're going to talk about that. But the first thing, had a great conversation today with Vans tech support, Greg. One of the things you're gonna find out, there is a point in the plans that they feel that you should know better, or you should know how things now go together. And one thing we've talked about this before, is in the plans it tells you what the countersink, what the dimple. When you have skins overlaying pieces, they get dimpled, right? All the skins are flush riveted. And when we say flush riveted, they're flush. So that's got to be dimpled. So any skin and any mating surface, that skin needs to be dimpled. If you look at these ribs, they're not dimpled. And it's not because I didn't forget to do it. It's that in the plans, it doesn't tell you to dimple. And so I called Vans and I said, Vans, do I need to dimple these later, or do I dimple them now? And the response was, and I'm not going to quote, I'm going to paraphrase. You should know by now what gets dimpled and what gets countersunk. Okay? And I'm telling you that. So in the plans, when you're in section 14, it does not tell you to dimple the ribs. But you know that skins overlay, and wherever skins overlay, you got a dimple. So there's a point in the plans where they will tell you, or they won't tell you anymore. They just assume you already know. You already know how to do this. Or you already know it needs to be done. So they won't tell you. So don't be looking in the plans and be looking for on section 14 that I need to dimple these ribs. Now, it is much more, much more. It is easier to dimple them now before they're actually riveted in than it is to do it after the fact. Now, I will have to admit, I made not a mistake, but I didn't catch that on these. I was like, well, maybe they want us to line something up or so. I don't know. So I didn't dimple these before, and I haven't riveted them in yet. So what I will do is I will take these out and dimple them. Now, the disadvantage of dimpling after they've been painted, obviously, is when you dimple, you could crack the paint or scratch the paint. So I might have to respray those. That's okay, because I got to so I'm going to go ahead and dimple these, and then I'm going to go ahead and dimple these before they get painted. And if I have to repaint or touch up anything, I already have the paint out, right? So there you go. So that is that. I just wanted to share that with you because those are oversights that you will make probably. Now, the next oversight is this. And I want to show you the plans and I want to show you the verbiage. Note, this entire section depicts the wing rib installation for the left wing only. The right wing is a mirror of the left. All right. So don't make the same mistake that I have made. Okay? I didn't make a mistake. I caught it, right? I had to read through it. So I'm thinking, all right, we'll line these up. And it's just the opposite. And it is. It's exactly that. So when they tell you that you need a right, in this position on the right wing, you need a left. When you need a right, you need a left. When you need a left, you need a right. And vice versa. And that's the mere opposite. That's what it's saying. So I left the left up, and I'm looking, and I'm making sure that everything is symmetrical, right? Even though this is left and this is right. Actually, this is left and this is right. This is left and this is right. Left, right, left, right. You see how it goes? So it goes the opposite. So if it calls on the left wing, if it calls for a right, on the right wing you put a left. And that's how that works. Not rocket science. It really isn't. Now, one of the things I did notice is the positioning of the pitot tube holes, the pre-holes, the little holes, and then the electrical holes. So yeah, so that lines up. So that works. The other thing I noticed, and I didn't notice this until I really got into it, is you see the 3 dots? That tells you that's a 12. Single dot, that tells you it's a right. 2 dots, that tells you it's a left. Single dot, all right? And then a right is a single dot with a dot down here and a dot up there. So it's kind of, you just got to kind of play with the plan, or kind of look at the plans. Yeah. So that's how that works. It's kind of confusing, but that is how everything comes together, as they would say. The other thing is you want to look down the edge, because we know everything should be lining up. So you look down the edge and you make sure that all your parts are lining up edgewise. So yeah, these are just the little things that I have learned, and I'm sharing with you to help you not get frustrated with this. But remember this: wherever skins overlap skins or parts, you have to dimple. The skins are always dimpled. All right? And so any matching part or any part below that skin has to be dimpled as well. There's some few other things about some of these top center rivets here, and we'll get to that when we get to that point that I learned. And I'll share that with you as well. But yeah, so there you go. So we got the wing, the right wing mocked up, and all of the ribs in. And what I'm going to do now is just work on each rib one at a time, take it apart, and then set it up for getting it ready for paint. But I wanted to share that with you.